The Wild Boars of Madness. Chapter 38. DaMao.
In autumn, the work in the fields was nearly done. Yang and Zhang enlisted over a dozen helpers, preparing to set up traps in the Falling Leaves Valley. If they could catch some pigs, winter wouldn't be as harsh. As soon as Zhang left, Yang rustled through the blueprints. The drawings were sketched with a brush on old newspapers, ranging from small to large, several sheets in total. A silver bell-like voice came from outside. Yang Tu, I need to talk to you. Yang Mom said. Go quickly, Zhen is looking for you. Yang and Zhen sat on a moss-covered stone by the slope, the moss worn smooth. The daylight was still good, with autumn clouds covering the sky. In the distance, the snowy mountains shone brightly in the blue-tinted sky. Zhen said, I received another love letter. I don't want to read it to you. Yang replied, Then I don't want to hear it. Zhen said, I want you to read it to me. Pretend you wrote it for me. How about that? Yang said, There's someone else's name below. Zhen said, Don't read the name, or read it as if it were your name. Yang hesitated. That's not good. It would be embarrassing. Zhen pulled out the letter, folded the bottom half to the reverse side, then handed it to Yang. Yang pursed his lips, catching the light, and began to read. Shu Yan. Your hair, like the gentle long night, is deep black, shining brightly. It's like the endless night wind, drifting between the boundless heavens and earth. I want to rest upon it and enter the realm of dreams. Zhen snatched the letter back. Zhen said, Do you dream at night? Yang said, Sometimes I do. Zhen asked, What kind of dreams do you have? Yang replied, I forget. If I dream tonight, I'll remember to tell you tomorrow morning. We're going up the mountain together with Zhang. The mountain nights fell quickly. In the last glow of daylight, Yang glanced at Zhen. Her hair was truly deep black, shining brightly. It drifted gently like the evening breeze, resembling a large, soft black silk pillow. Yang and Zhang, along with a dozen helpers, worked for nearly half a month. They dug a large pit, dismantled the iron-armored trees shaved off by the big snow avalanche on the opposite bank, ferried them across the river, and crafted them into a clever mechanism. On that day, a light snowfall covered the ground, and the contraption in the pit was properly arranged. With the lid closed, the job was considered finished. DaMao carried a bamboo basket on his back and arrived alone. DaMao's eyes carried a touch of melancholy as he asked Zhang, Master Ren, is Yang Yaoqing around? Zhang replied, He's been exhausted these days, just went back to the cedarwood house for a nap. He even mentioned earlier that he'll wait until next year to ask you to name this pig-catching pit. The stones are all set, to be engraved on them, serving as a reminder for unknowing passersby to prevent accidents. DaMao glanced at the large pit and the pig trap machinery in place, saying, It's indeed very clever. It shows the skill of you craftsmen. Zhang replied, This was designed by Yang, we just made it happen. DaMao sighed and said, Yang Yaochen is a rare talent. He's not only intelligent but also treats people well. I can't compare to him. Zhang said, You're being too modest. You're multi-talented. No worse than anyone. DaMao sighed again, staring into the crack of the valley entrance. DaMao said, Master Ran, everyone says this Falling Leaves Valley is mysterious, that those who go and never return. Why hasn't anything happened to the flower pigs? Zhang smirked and said, That's hard to explain. You might as well go ask the mountain god. There are plaques for the mountain god and the land god on that side of the valley entrance. Or, you can go and inquire yourself. DaMao said, Could it be because there's too much leaf litter accumula, tied in the Falling Leaves Valley, fermenting all year round, releasing carbon dioxide and other poisonous gases? The ventilation is poor, causing harm to people, but the wild boars aren't afraid. Zhang said, I have no idea what you're talking about with that carbon thing. It's possible for leaves to turn into charcoal. Leaves can burn and soak in charcoal. DaMao said, Master Ran, let me ask you, has Yang Yaoqing ever been in this Falling Leaves Valley? Zhang replied, He couldn't have gone in. He's full of life and vitality now, isn't he a ghost? A hint of light appeared in DaMao's melancholy eyes. So, he probably hasn't been inside. He doesn't have a gas mask or chemical protective clothing. Mu Zhang said. He doesn't have those advanced things. At this point, DaMao seemed to brighten up. DaMao said, "You guys said I should come up with a name. I think calling it the Great Pitfall of Falling Leaves Valley is good, right? It sounds majestic. It's a pity I didn't bring pen and ink, otherwise, I could have written it," Mu Zhang said. "It's still your literary spirit. You think of these things all at once. It's a good name. We have pens and paint. We were just using them. Let me get them for you." DaMao adjusted the red paint on the pen and wiped the surface of the stone clean, then began to write. "The Great Pitfall of Falling Leaves Valley. Enter at your own risk." After writing 2 stones, Mu Zhang praised, "DaMao, you've added the finishing touch. This project is flawless." DaMao wiped the paint off the pen and handed it to Mu Zhang, sighing, "Alas, these few words might be all I can leave in this world." Mu Zhang laughed heartily. "You can leave behind some words, aren't you satisfied? The wooden tools we make last a few years at most. Who knows which year they'll turn to ashes." Mu Zhang and his helpers focused on assembling the flip panels, fitting the wood, and inserting hinge nails. Just as they completed the work, they saw DaMao standing on the slope in the distance. His empty bamboo basket rolled in the wind. DaMao had put on a chemical protective suit, with only the pig-like face mask and hat not yet worn. Mu Zhang said, "DaMao, what are you doing?" DaMao lifted his leg and ran along the slope toward the valley entrance. "Master Ran, I'm going in. Wait for my good news when I come back." Mu Zhang and his team dropped their tools and followed him. DaMao was running fast, already 10 steps ahead at the valley entrance. He turned around and shouted, "Goodbye, wait for my good news." Wearing the mask and hat, he rushed into the crevice valley.